In 2023, Maine became the first state in America to partially decriminalize prostitution. But what does this mean? Maine has repealed or voided the laws that criminalize the selling of sex. However, other harmful acts within the sex trade, including buying, pimping, and brothel owning, still remain illegal. So, is prostitution now legal in Maine? No way. Under the new law, pimps, brothel owners, managers, escort service owners, sex buyers, and sex tourism operators can still be arrested for the devastating harm they cause. The only person not being arrested is the person sold in prostitution. Because Maine repealed the laws criminalizing the selling of sexual services, survivors of prostitution can now seal prior criminal convictions, which are often a result of their trafficking or exploitation. This allows them to rebuild their lives without a criminal record. This approach may seem novel here in the United States, but Maine is not the first government to pass this type of law. Now known as the survivor model, it originated in Sweden in 1999, and then it was later adopted by several other countries. Why would we want to decriminalize only the person selling? For the vast majority of people sold, they have no choice. Most people in the sex trade face sexual, physical, and psychological violence and suffer severe trauma. Eliminating their arrests shifts the culture from prostitution being the oldest profession to the oldest oppression. A large percentage of those selling sex have been trafficking victims themselves, and their abusers use manipulation, coercion, force, and deception to push vulnerable people into the sex trade. So these individuals should not receive criminal penalties for the hurt perpetrated on them. So, what happens to buyers and pimps in Maine? Well, sex buyers and others causing harm are not protected by this law. Sex trafficking will still be prosecuted in Maine, and the buyers who fuel exploitation must continue to be held responsible. The Maine law is a far cry from decriminalization or legalization of the sex trade, where exploiters get a free pass. This is the survivor model, a law holding exploiters accountable for the harm they cause while giving survivors much needed services, not criminal penalties. What can Maine do now? It's simple. 1. Provide services and help those exiting the sex trade. 2. Arrest sex buyers to reduce demand that drives sex trafficking. And 3. Assist survivors in sealing criminal convictions related to prostitution. Learn more about how Maine is making a difference. Visit www.worldwithoutexploitation.org/advocacy for more information.